Hello everybody, Revan here, and welcome back to episode 2 of StoneBlock, where today we're going to see about getting into some power generation and also a mob farm. So sit back, enjoy the video, and let's see what we can't get done. So unfortunately, I really wasn't able to complete too much in between episodes, mainly because of the way that the quest line is kind of set out early game. If I progress too much, then I kind of feel like you guys are going to miss too much. So all I really did in my spare time was set this little sieving station up so I can just toss in a bunch of the gravel that I have been hammering out and kind of get that to auto sieve itself. I know I said I wasn't gonna go mechanical, but it was just so easy to make that mechanical user, and since I already had the advanced item collector, I figured why not. We can get into power today, and I think we can get that fully automated, if not by the end of this episode, perhaps the next episode. Also, I did make a crusher. Now, I also did make one of the auto hammers. However, I found that I was going to need certain items crushed up in order to get into power. So I made this actual edition's crusher, which wasn't too difficult. Let's see here. Just pull up the recipe here. So it really just required a little bit of Restonia and iron, and that was really about it. So the black quartz I got from the mining dimension, and then this quartz grindstone right here, and I was able to make that. And you know, obviously, of course, I had to make the atomic reconstructor, and I just have both of these hooked up to this draconic evolution generator that I got as one of the rewards, and I've just been, you know, feeding that in. Luckily, you get coal when you go through gravel, so as I've been sifting the gravel, I've just been tossing the coal in there and just grinding the stuff over and over again until I got a decent amount of dust and a decent amount of sand on standby. Also, if you come down here, you can see I put a cake down by accident. I made a little bit of a farm, mainly because of the fact that we are going to be getting into chickens sometime in the pack. I'm not sure how soon we're going to be doing that, but yeah, we will need to be getting into chickens. And when you get into chickens, you need lots of seeds and you need lots of wheat. So figured we get ourselves a little bit of a head start on that. And then at the end of this tunnel, this is where I'm planning to put our little makeshift mob farm for now. Obviously that will change as we get better equipment. You know, we get things like cursed earth and all that other good stuff, but for now I'm thinking just at the end of this tunnel it will be far enough away from this location where mobs should generate. Also, I made myself an iron drum, just a couple of the fluid transfer nodes, which are super easy to make. So if you just look up transfer nodes, so for items, it just requires a little bit of redstone, some stone, and a chest. And for the fluid, it just requires a bucket. And then the transfer pipes, a couple stone slabs, a singular piece of redstone, and some glass, and you get 64. Now, they're not the fastest thing in the world, but as far as what we need them for, they work just perfectly. And you can actually put these on an anvil to kind of flatten them so that I could have put this drum in this space right here directly next to it. However, I personally have had issues in the past with the flat transfer nodes and them crashing the game due to ticking entities. So I just figured I'd stick with this just to be safe, and that's just me being paranoid. And then I have the lava going into a stone barrel with, you know, obviously just a water source over the top. So the lava goes in the stone barrel. Once it's full, it hits the lava, and then it gets exported as a piece of obsidian. Now, the reason I'm making so much obsidian is once we get into automating our sieve, we are going to need drawers to keep track of everything. And since I don't foresee us having a whole lot of emeralds right off the get-go, void upgrades are usually what I go for. It just kind of makes things easier. That way you can upgrade the drawers as you see fit, as you get the resources, but at the same point in time, you don't have to worry about them ever filling up, because if they can hold 64 stacks, once it gets to 64, items just get voided, and then you don't end up with, you know, a backlog of items in there. So what are we going to do for power? Well, we have these, let me dig this up real quick. We have these superheating elements, right? And they produce lava at 60 times normal rates. We also have cobblestone generators. So I figure, why not use lava to make power? So what we're going to be making are these thermal expansion magmatic dynamos. The reason I'm going for the dynamos is because the magmatic generators, when you upgrade them, they take GP. So then we'd have to make water mills and a bunch of other stuff, and then you have to make the upgrades. However, if you look at the loot chests, actually I'm not sure if it's a loot chest or a loot crate. Loot chest. So if you look at the loot chests, I believe the epic and the legendary, we get signalum upgrades, and then from the legendary we can actually get the resonant upgrades. So we'll be able to upgrade our dynamos just from the drops that we're getting from the mobs, and that's one of the reasons, that's pretty much the main reason that I'm going to be going for them. So in order to make a magmatic dynamo, we're going to need a few things. We're going to need iron, redstone, invar, and silver. So what I've done in preparation is I've made a couple silver, since we don't really need too much. I've crushed up some iron, and I've crushed up some nickel, which when we combine the iron with the nickel, we get invar. So now I just have to smelt a little bit of this guys up, and I didn't put that in. That's going to bug me, and we'll just toss the rest in here because we don't want to use all of it right off the bat. So let's grab us some iron and some redstone, and then we have our silver. So we can make, I think we're going to start with 4 of these guys here. 2, 3, 4. I think that should be good because we're not going to have too many machines in the beginning, and we can always add on to these. And if we do manage to get them up to the top tier of dynamos, I think we're going to be looking at somewhere around 240 to 300 RF per tick for each of them. And that really should, last us quite a ways in this pack. And if we add on more dynamos, which as you can see, they're not overly difficult to make here, we'll be set. So as we're cooking up this invar, we can start making ourselves some gears. And there we go. So now we have our 4 invar, and we're going to need 8 iron. And we're just going to need the additional 8 ingots here. So just got to let this finish up doing what its thing. All right, so that should be good for the invar to make all 4 of our magmatic dynamos here. So now we have those. We should be able to use these transfer pipes to actually transfer the lava into the dynamos. I'm only going to take one of these for now, and I want to see how close that's actually going to get us to where we need to be for lava production. We can easily make another crucible and another superheating element, but if we don't need to right off the bat, why go through all that? Now, where do I want to put this is kind of the question I was asking myself. This side of the base, I think I'm going to plan for farms and for the things like the chickens and the fluid cows and the mystical agriculture. Mob farm down there for now. So as far as farms go, I'm thinking, or I should say as far as machines go, I'm thinking somewhere in that direction. So this stuff we can easily, we're going to tear up once we get the automated, once we get the auto sieves and everything like that. So I'm thinking just building a room back here for power and for the different machines that we're going to be putting in is probably going to suit us best. So I'm going to dig this out real quick and I'll bring you guys back. And lo and behold, about 4 blocks in, I broke my pickaxe. So I mentioned earlier that making these pickaxes was super easy. So let me show you how to do that real quick. We're going to need some iron bars. a few diamonds, and obviously some sticks, and then some good old-fashioned obsidian here, if I can only take one. So for the party pickaxe, all it really gonna need is reinforced obsidian and 1 diamond. So the reinforced obsidian is going to be obsidian surrounded by kind of like in a checkered pattern here with iron bars. So we can just take that, and we now have the ability to make 2 of these. So, well, actually way more than 2, because these will transfer into ingots themselves. But there we go. We now have a party pickaxe. So that is why, you know, I'm not in a big hurry to get into Tinker's Construct or anything like that with the smeltery. It's just, we can make these super easy, and they last a very long time. And this one is, yep, no mending on it. So anyways, let me finish digging this thing out here. And with the power of editing, I present to you a completely barren, undecorated, slightly not so smallish open room that we can actually use for our first bits of power generation and machine automation. So first thing I need to do is set down our superheaters. Now I did end up making 2 just because kind of felt like that would probably be the best thing for us to do. So I'm going to set those guys down in the middle there, and I am going to apparently place a cake. Okay, let's try this again, this time without the pickaxe. So we have our 2 crucibles. Now we are going to just make a little bit of an inlet into the wall here. All right, take 2. Putting generator on the bottom and the drawer on the top. There we go. So now we can just take one of our item transfer nodes, and we can place that there. And I believe we should be able to just pipe these guys, not you, into our crucibles. And then from there, we can decide where we want to actually put our magma generator or magma dynamos. I'm thinking, like, part of me just wants to do it down the center just so I have open room, but I know I'm going to get annoyed with that a little bit later. So why don't we try to make this as compact as we can here, and we can take the iron drum that I made. Again, this is just not necessary. You could just lead the lava straight into the dynamos. I just like having this, if that will help me tell if I'm using too much lava, if I'm not producing enough lava, that kind of thing. And if this is overfilled, then that means that I don't have to worry about expanding this. But if this is always empty, that means that I should probably look at expanding my actual lava production here. So then we just need to grab a few of the fluid transfer nodes and a couple more of these pipes straight into the barrel, and there we go. Now we can take, oh, that is a item transfer. We can take another fluid transfer right here, and we can just have that running into our 4 dynamos. So let's just set up these pipes like this, and hopefully keep our fingers crossed that the dynamos actually place correct. Of course they don't. All right, let's do it one further away just so that it's not competing. No, that's not what I want. Let me make a wrench real quick. Now when we place these down, we shouldn't have to care about the direction that they're going. I normally like having them facing like that, except I'm starting to wonder if lava is going to make it all the way to that last one. Yeah, we should be producing more than enough power here for what we're going to need. Now for energy conduits, I think we can actually just get into Ender IO, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just see The basic energy conduit is going to need conductive iron, which I think is just iron and redstone in an alloy smelter. And we actually got an alloy smelter from one of our quests. So let's grab you, and let's just grab a stack of this and a stack of iron, and we'll just make up a quick stack of conductive iron since we're gonna need it. Oh, we're also gonna need one of the basic capacitors that we received, and we should just be able to toss this in front and it'll get power. Oh, we don't even need a basic capacitor for it. Nice. Let's just toss the iron in the redstone and let that do its thing. Now in the meantime, and I did put it on the first one for a reason, because that should be the first one to get lava no matter what, since the transfer pipes here, they don't really, they're not smart. They just, whatever the closest inventory is what it goes into. So if I were to put it on that end one, if the other three were to start losing power for whatever reason, it would not be getting the lava that it needed. Now for our mob farm down here, I am going to be doing just a super simple mob farm. And when I say super simple, I mean super duper simple. It's going to be 2 wide. We'll have a little bit of space in the back for travel around, but that's about it. I don't need any like super long, super, OP mob spawner for the beginning. I just need something that's going to be spawning mobs fairly consistently, and something that I can, toss some witch water into so that I can, start getting wither skeletons and get that drop of evil, because then we can actually look at, making a decent sized mob farm. Probably like a 9x9 patch of cursed earth will do just fine. So what are we doing here? We have 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 7, so that'd be 15 long. Yeah, that's fine. And that's going to be the basic design of the mob farm. So we'll have obviously stuff coming down from the ceiling to make it a dark room inside. We'll put half slabs around it, and then we're just going to put a fan on this end and a fan on this end to push them into the center into one of these good old-fashioned, where'd you go, one of these mob mashers. We should have enough resources to make this, so let's get started with making that in the mob fans. We're going to need some upgrades for the fans, but they're not horribly expensive. So let's just grab up grab some iron here and just start smelting this up. So for the mob masher here, we are pretty much just gonna need a whole lot of iron, specifically iron swords. So as you can see, we need 2 iron swords for this recipe, and then we need 3 for each one of these. So we're gonna need a total of 8, which hopefully this time around I won't go ahead and make an entire inventory full, because that's always fun. And then we're gonna need a iron, actually I think we need iron blocks for these 2, right? Yeah, so we're gonna need 3 iron blocks total. And let's see, we should be able to make these guys real quick. 1 and 2. Then we're gonna need a block of redstone. Here we go. It's in there. Give me that back. And 3 diamonds. So I think, yeah, we have our mob masher. Now, in order to turn this on, all we need is a lever, and then we're gonna need a couple of the fans. So we're gonna need some stone slabs and some more redstone. Do we have any stone slabs left over? I don't think that we do. And do we have enough stone slabs? We'll find out. 1, 2, 3, just perfect. So we're gonna need distance modifier, and if you don't need it, but if you want it, a width modifier as well. So if we do distance, we're gonna need feathers. Ooh, we may not be able to use this fan right off the bat, but I think the pack has other fans in it, pushes entities up to 16 blocks with redstone power. So that should just be levers. So that's just going to be repeaters. And yeah. So we're going to need some more stone. Let's see. Do we have any furnaces open? I really wish I would have gotten one of the powered furnace, one of the elite furnaces as a reward. But let's just craft us up some more stone here. All right. So we're just going to go for this other fan that we have here from Cyclic. So I think we should be good with 2 of them, since this one can just right off the bat push up to 16 blocks. If we run into issues where mobs aren't going into the mob masher, we could make one more. So, you know, for the sake of being careful here, let's just let's see if we can do. Yeah, there we go. We'll have 3 of these. And then can we do a luck? We're going to need lapis, gold. Do we have any of that? And we have a little bit of lapis. So let's just do 2 luck, which is, you know, obviously just looting. And then gold. We'll run this through this guy right here so that we can double it. And we have a little bit of gold already smelted up. We can toss some of our iron back. And for this one, we're going to need more iron swords. So I'm thinking 2 sharpness should be good for now. And what was the other thing? We're going to need gold for that as well. So luckily it is just gold nuggets, but we'll make 2 of the luck upgrades and 2 of the mob masher upgrades for sharpness. So that will kill mobs obviously quicker, which is good. We don't want them living too long. I believe we had, yes, we have another advanced item collector. And if I just grab some sticks and some wood in here, I can make ourselves another crate real quick. So as far as, you know, what we want to do with this, trying to think if we're better off pushing from the sides into the center, or if we're just better pushing all the way down. I think the center is probably going to be our best bet here. So we'll put the masher like this. Actually, let's put it right there, and that way we can just toss a fan in here and say we want that to have a range of 2, and we're gonna have to give that power with a lever from the outside. And then over here we'll put this guy here, and we'll have to do the same thing on the outside. Now we might have to make 2 more of these to put them over here, because these only push 1 block long. But I'm hoping that as the mobs move along, they kind of get caught up in the breeze, so to speak. Now I should be able to toss you guys in here and just toss you on like that. So that'll be running. And then we're gonna have to break our torches and all that other good stuff. We'll put a block behind you, and how many we're gonna need? 3 of these. Yeah, 3 more levers. Disable sound. That got loud. That's better. Disable sound for you. And disable sound for you. Now, when we break all of our torches inside, we should be left with a... Let me turn you off. There's 1 more torch. If you shift walk too, you can avoid the fans. All right. Toss you on top and there, and then it should be completely dark inside. And as we move away, mobs will spawn and we'll collect their goodies. So let's just toss this guy right here. Increase the radius, 10 is good. We don't really need too much. Why we don't really need. And then when we're over here working, that will be making us some goodies. And then obviously, once we get the cursed earth, which we get through the drop of evil, which we need to make the witch water for, we can change all of that up and make it a more permanent mob spawner, and then really kind of ramp up the collection. Right now, I'm just using a singular crate because I can check it every now and then. I'm not expecting it to, produce anything insane as far as mob goes, so I'm not worried about the number of drops that we have. But yeah, that should at least get us to where we want to be. And then as we get more resources, and I can upgrade the mob master more to get luck, beheading, that kind of good stuff, it'll really start ramping up the items that we're collecting from it. I do want to check. I want to say it looked a little bit dark in here. I don't want mobs spawning where I don't want them to spawn. All right, eat one of our yummy apples. So let's see here. Obviously we can collect our reward from this, which we get a spawner changer, which is not really going to do us too much. Now we need to make some witch water so that we can eventually get up to making ourselves that cursed earth. So I'm just going to make a little section right here. It doesn't need to be too big. You can kind of decide how big or how small you want things to be in your own playthrough. But I just do it usually as a 3x4, mainly because when you're making witch water, obviously it has to be on mycelium. However, the more pieces of dirt you have surrounding the stone crucible, that can like speed up the transformation of the water into witch water. So if I just do this, I can put a single barrel here and another barrel here, and then technically they'll each have the full 9 blocks of mycelium surrounding them. And then in order to make it mycelium, all we need to do is grab us some, where are you, ancient spores, which you get from sifting dirt, or is it sifting sand? I don't remember. Let's actually look that up just so that I'm not giving false information here. So ancient spore, okay, sifting sand or compressed sand through a iron or diamond stiffened mesh. All right, so now need to make ourselves a couple more of these stone barrels, which are super easy. Just 6 pieces of stone and a slab. Toss those down there. Yeah, just put that there for continuity's sake. Clean up our inventory a little bit here. We don't need this on us. We don't need that. We can put the sticks back for now. I thought I had a bucket, but I don't because I use it to make the transfer nodes. So let's grab ourselves another bucket here. Bucket and fill up our barrels. Yeah, as you can see, it's starting to transform 1%. It's going to take a while, but we really only need like 1 bucket of witch water. It can be nice to have more, especially if you want to do things like manually converting sand over into soul sand and stuff like that. But there's easier ways, aka the thing I'm jumping on right here, the atomic reconstructor. If I toss a stack of sand on here, it'll turn into soul sand. So just like come over, yell at this guy for picking up my items. Give me my sand back. All right, try that again. There we go. Did use all my power, but whatever. So we ended up getting 14 soul sand from that. Obviously, if we had more power, it would have converted more, but yeah. We can toss you guys up. I don't really need to be keeping the cobblestone, so what I'll do is I made this dev null here, which essentially you can put 1 item in, and then as you walk over it and pick that item up, it'll just it'll void it. It'll just keep a stack of 64 in there, and that's about it. It's kind of like a poor man's dank knoll, which I want to get into a dank knoll, but especially if I want to be mining up there even more. All right, I think this thing has been going long enough, wasting our lava, so I'm just going to take the 47 conductive iron that we do have and pick this guy up. We'll just toss him down there for now. You don't want to leave the basic or the simple alloy smelters or pretty much any of the tier 1 Ender IO machines hooked up to your power, especially early in the beginning of a pack, mainly because of the fact that these leak energy, meaning whether they're running or they're not running, they're constantly going to be burning through RF, which means that you're going to be burning through your resources. So if you don't have to have this hooked up, don't. One of the last things that I wanted to do was, where is my clay? We have some clay, and we're gonna need to toss some more gravel in here. So let's get that going. So now that our gravel is done, we can just kind of come over to our crafting table and we can start making some of the conduit binder composite. I just make a whole bunch right off the get-go because, well, you pretty much need it for any of the Ender IO cables, and since that's primarily what we're going to be using in this pack, it doesn't really make much sense to use anything else. All right, so in preparation of setting up our grinder in this other room here, I am going to make another cobblestone generator here. Doesn't need to be fast because the hammer and the crusher are not fast machines as of just yet. So we'll go for a tier 1. So I think we're gonna need a singular piece of glass. Where'd you go? Did we need iron for this? No, we don't. We just need cobblestone. There. We'll grab you, and then we'll grab this guy over here, and then we should have, yes, transfer node items. And where did we put our little cable things? There we go. So we can have it one going in, and then as far as coming out, we can just use, I think we can just use the hopper. Ooh, we forgot to make our energy conduits here. So we're just gonna do the conductive iron in the middle and the composite on the outside, or I'm sorry, the conduit binder, and we now have energy conduits. Unfortunately, it is not a quest, but I'm not hurt about that. All right, let's go set this up real quick. All right, so we're just gonna run our conduits right off of these guys, and then we can toss our crushers. For now, at least, we'll put them right here. We're gonna change things after we get the stonework factory set up, but I think I'm gonna plan on that next episode because we're gonna have to get into making plastic and stuff like that. Now, how do we want this to? Suppose we can just toss you on there. We can toss a drawer here. Transfer node can come up here, and then we can just have that going like that, and that should fill those guys up. I believe it's going to fill this up first before anything, but we can just toss that in to get that guy started. And then we want both of these guys running into this crate, and the easiest way for me to do that, because I don't have another item transfer node, is going to be pop you down and go grab ourselves just a quick hopper. I am curious, is this going to... All right, yeah, so the hopper will take the item. So I just have this hammer feeding into the hopper, the crusher feeding into the hopper, and then they're both just going into this drawer. I do want to check if... Okay, so we're not really keeping up with our cobblestone there. I thought a tier 1 cobblestone generator would keep up, but I was horribly mistaken. So let's just let's upgrade this guy real quick. We should just need to surround it with iron to get to the tier 2. And Yes, tier 2, because I think tier 3 is diamond. We have, we might as well do it. We can always go mining to get a tier, to get more diamonds. All right, so we have our cobblestone generator, which should do more than enough. And I wonder if we can put, see if this is filling up now, because this is still at 38. Oh, we got to put the diamond hammers in. That'll speed it up a little bit. I wonder if we put another transfer node there, if it would actually speed up the how much it's taken out here. Okay, so now that jumped up to 42. Okay, so they're both rising, so we should be good with cobblestone production with these two guys, and that will at least crush us down to gravel. We can set things up later where we want this one crushing and then turning it into that, but like I said, we're not going to need any of that once we get these the stonework factory. And I'm pretty sure based upon the recipe here, I'm pretty sure we should be able to get it next episode. The only thing, oh no, we won't, because we're going to need pink slime. Ooh, yeah, that one's going to be hard, because in order to get the pink slime, I believe we need the mob factory, I think, or the mob slaughterhouse. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so the mob slaughter factory makes the pink slime, so we need to make one of these, and that means that we need to upgrade our farm over here to the level where it's on the cursed earth, and then toss one of those in there to do it. So, and because we can't really have power over there right now, meaning that we're going to have a mob farm somewhere in here, so we're going to need the cursed earth, otherwise we're going to be too close. All right, well, let's see what we got for the reward for this cobblestone generator. We got 3 hoppers. That sucked. All right, let's see, we could probably knock this guy out. We just need some sticks and some chests. Now we can just take 16 of them, and there we go. We have upgrades. We can use that a little bit later on once we get our wall of horrors set up. All right, so what did please give us something good this time. Entity detector. That is not good. All right, storage upgrade. We can make some of these, and tier 2 I think is iron. We can do that. Can we do the gold? The tier 3, we can do a gold. I don't think we can do this because we're out of diamonds here. Yeah, we only have 1 diamond left, but we can get through the tier 3. Tier 1, we'll make one of you. We'll make one of the tier 2, and we'll make one of the tier 3, just to kind of satisfy the requirements. Because what I'm hoping is we'll be able to get up to the tier 5 really before too long, so that we don't have to really waste too much of that kind of stuff. Am I going to be blocked? Okay, so void upgrades don't look to be an actual quest, so that's good. All right, so we have a simple sag mill. That's cool. Well, we got the water mills, so that saves us a little bit of trouble, and we have an exchanging gadget. So not the best rewards, but not the worst at the same point in time. All right, one last thing I want to do before we leave is just make sure that our mob farm is kicking off over here. And we've already gotten 1 common loot crate, so that is awesome. Like I said, this is not going to be the fastest thing in the world, so you know, I have no illusions that I'm going to come over here and this thing is going to be full. We are getting skeletons, which is a good sign. So this we got a cake and some pork chops. I feel slightly jaded about that. All right, let's just grab our witch water, and we'll grab a few more sticks. And the last thing I want to do before I call it an episode here is convert our farm here so that the mobs are actually being pushed through the witch water. You know what? I want you to float towards the death ray. And that way, when mobs spawn in over here, they'll get pushed through the witch water. Skeletons will get turned into wither skeletons, and that will increase, well, actually that will give us the opportunity to get drops of evil. So I am gonna let that go, just AFK over here for some good time, eat my cake. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna call it an episode there. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, especially if you like my content. And as always, stay awesome, be safe, and we'll see you guys next time.